imagine having a successful Hollywood career, great marriage, 5 kids, everything seemingly going your way until you discover you have a brain tumor the size of a pear.
Yeah, that's what happened to Jeannie Gaffigan, writer, director, producer, and wife to our good buddy, Jim Gaffigan. Please welcome Jeannie to the show.
Hi, Jeannie.
Hi, Jeannie. We just had Jim here last week.
Yeah, did he at least tell you about us?
Yes, he did.
Oh, he did.
But I'm in a little bit of competition. I'm going to do better.
We like you better already. Don't tell him we said that. No, so he talks all about the kids, and now we have proof that the 5 kids exist because, Val, as you mentioned, you birthed all 5 of these kids.
I birthed them, and Jim looks like he birthed them, but I actually
you have a whole basketball team right there.
Yes,
look
my
at
basketball
that.
team.
Yeah, and now you have a new book out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Val.
Well, I mean, you just found out about this tumor just by taking one of the kids to the doctor?
It was all 5 of them at the doctor. So it's always kind of like a big show when I take the kids to the doctor, because in a schedule like ours, I can't do 5 well checks.
That makes sense.
So I bring them all, and it's a big thing where I book 5 appointments in a row, and I bring them all into the room, and I have all these forms to fill out, because everybody knows that you can't get into camp, you can't get into school, you need the forms, the checkup. So I'm constantly busy with doing one thing or the other. And I was in the pediatrician's office and doing the forms, and I kept turning, my head towards her, and she's like, "What's wrong with your ear?" And I'm like, "Oh, I can't really hear very well out of it." And she's like, "Are you sick?" And I'm like, "No, it just kind of stopped working." And she said, "Did you see someone?" And I'm like, "I'm busy, I'm taking," and she's like, "You need to get," she looked in, she said, "I don't see anything wrong, but how long has this been happening?" I'm like, a while, I guess. I haven't really paid attention to myself, which is kind of the conclusions that I draw in this book, coming out of something like this. And so she said, "I need you to go to an ENT." And so eventually I went to an ENT. He couldn't find anything wrong, gave me some Flonase and things like that. And I went back and I'm like, "I still can't hear out of the ear." And he said, "Well, we're just going to give you an MRI to rule out anything on your auditory canal, maybe a little cyst or something, 1 in a million chance that anything is in there." And then when I came out of the MRI, they were like, "You need to go to a neurosurgeon because you have a brain tumor."
Wow.
And it was a very large.
Very large. And all I had at that point was the report. I didn't see it. So in order to see a doctor, I needed to get the scan. My good friend who I grew up with, John Broderick, became a neurologist.
No way.
So I called him and I said, "Listen, do you have a machine at your hospital that can read these scans?" And he's like, "Sure, FedEx it to me." Basically, he called me the next morning and he said, "You need to get to OR immediately," and texted me a picture of the inside of my head with what appeared to be a pear that I had swallowed whole but went up. And it was the thin part of the pear was kind of lodged in my brain stem, and right where all the cranial nerves are. So I was like, how are they going to get this out without, kind of disconnecting my brain from my body?
Right, and how do they do it?
With very carefully. So
it was a 9-hour surgery.
Yes. This is when God comes in, because I just prayed and I said, "Oh, Lord, help me. I cannot," they say God won't give you anything you can't handle. I said, "Well, here's something I can't handle." I was like, "I need you to handle this for me."
Right.
And I just let go of my pride and my ego, and I just jumped off the cliff, and I said, "I'm going to go, and whatever doors you open for me, I will walk into."
So how did, this is so heavy and so deep, but how did humor, I know what your faith did, because you guys, and I love that part too, that you and Jim are not ashamed of your Catholic faith and the blessings, especially in Hollywood where, that can be seen as, oh, here they come, the holy rollers or whatever. But how did humor get you guys through this?
Well, I think the lens that Jim and I have always viewed the world through has been through a humorous lens. So when things get tough, that's our coping mechanism.
You are able to laugh about it now. You are healthy, and I saw Jim's latest stand-up on Amazon Prime. And I know you co-wrote this. And you guys joke about the tumor. Take a look.
The surgeon told me the tumor was the size of a pear, which is scary, but also confusing. I was like, did he go to med school or a farmer's market? But tumors are often compared to fruit. A pear, a lemon, a grapefruit. Interesting fact, worst tumor, grapefruit. Worst fruit, grapefruit.
Was it a little bit cathartic? Is that a little bit cathartic now?
I mean, I think that aside from me reaching out to God, which was, you know, if you read the subtitle of this book, it's Faith, Family, and Funny People. Those are the things that got me through this, because I am grateful every day, every breath I take and every sip of water I take, because I wasn't able to drink or eat. I mean, recovery was bad.
Well, Jeannie, we are so happy that you are healthy and the basketball team is doing well.
They are.
All 5 kids, and that Jim's doing well. Come back and see us anytime.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, the name of the book is When Life Gives You Pears, The Healing Power of Family, Faith, and Funny People. It's now available everywhere.
Yes, and guess what? Everyone in our audience is going home with a copy. Oh, Jeannie, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your story. You have no idea. I keep looking at Ryan during your whole, you don't even know you were like preaching to me.
Yeah, she's tearing up
I'll
already.
tell you later. I know. We'll be right back.
Thank you.